Tristan. Tristan! Tristan! What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, here we are to review chapter 214 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, which is known as Rest and Resolve. And this chapter, it wiggles underneath my feet, it lifts them up, and it tickles them in just the right way. Tickles my, not big toe, not pinky toe, not even my ring toe, and not my middle toe, but my index toe. It tickles that one specifically, because this is, in my opinion, one of the main reasons why, in spite of the weirdness, because you're never gonna hear me, that guy with a pencil, sit here and tell you Nakaba Suzuki is normal. Far from it. He's a freakazoid. But in spite of his freakazoid nature, I think Nakaba Suzuki still has one of the best character writing bags in the game, dog. In the game, this chapter is just apex character writing all around. But of course, what am I talking about? Why should I waste any more time? Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 214, Rest and Resolve. I do like when the chapter covers do clearly tie into the chapter or give us context for what happened in the narrative leading into the chapter. Don't be wrong, the special unique color cover pages are cool too. I appreciate those, especially those are still probably my number one. But the non sequiturs are cool too, when we just get to see Nakaba freestyle draw whatever he wants. But I do like this, because obviously this is the setup for the opener of the chapter. Howser presumably hearing, this may be from, I'm not sure if this is, who would have told them? Even though I've read the chapter, fun fact, you can check out the 33-minute live reaction. It was a thicky boy. The 33-minute live reaction to this very chapter over on Patreon for as low as $1 a month, or you can become a member for as low as $3 a month. If you also get that, you get access to early videos. You're probably seeing this video early. I don't this video is not going up the day I recorded. So you would have seen this video early, get access to all the previous live reactions, and every single video is ad free, and so on and so more. But still, regardless, I don't actually know who it told. Maybe this is Percy himself telling him, because then it'll be Howser looks absolutely bamboozled, and even Gildan himself is like, what? Which is genuinely hilarious. This, and I have to assume it would have to be the three directly being like, hi, these are my mates now, and we're going away, because Howser looks absolutely shocked, and Gildan is like, plural, and they presumably ran off. But then we see Howser absolutely losing it, sweating buckets as he runs about the kingdom, genuinely losing his mind, kind of snitching, master, Howser, he probably came to you in good faith and good confidence, but then you just gonna spill a man's business everywhere. Howser, I know not to trust you with special information, Potato Chip. You seem like a snitch. But with it being the case, Howser's absolutely losing it. Unfortunately, Pelio, who did get, fortunately, Pelio did get up from Anth Magic from their little training session, as he's literally freaking and geeking and telling Pelio the news. And he's yelling and screaming and losing it. And notably, of course, while Pelio was good enough to be reduced to a quick chapter reaction or chapter cover reaction, poor Donners. I get it. He's currently still recovering from the effects of power limit break, which I do think is good. Notably, last two... Wait, was it two? No, I think we only saw it used once. I think, yeah. I think the last time we saw it, there was either a time skip or just didn't matter, right? The idea that once this ability is used, you're gonna knock out for a week. That wasn't even really a thing. And obviously, a lot of the sevendeadlysins who it was used on are superhuman in a variety of ways, so it makes sense that the full repercussion of the spell would affect them. But it's still nice to see that Donnie is down for the count still from power limit break, to the point where I think he broke his limit so hard, some of his internal bones are broken, because he can't even laugh properly without going, ow! But poor Donnie, man. He was our fourth main character for a while. Or I suppose, was Donnie technically, for all intents and purposes, Donnie is kind of low-key. At least for characters as in we met them, we got their full name, and we followed them for a bit. Donnie is our second main character for a short bit, not for too long, because you could argue Sin was always the deuteragonist, aka Lance was always the deuteragonist. But Donnie kind of sorta was a deuteragonist for a while. So it's kind of a shame that his reaction to his friend, he doesn't even get a proper reaction, which I assume we're probably saving for when they would come back. And I was like, wait, y'all actually trip with me? Because he says, oh, my ribs! You're joking with me this early in the morning, Unc? What's going on? As a person who's third wheeled before between two people who, clearly did like each other, and then would come to me on separate occasions to clearly reveal to me that they liked each other, but what came to me for advice on it? Because for context, I known both of these people individually first. They didn't meet through me. They met through a mutual friend of all three of us. But since I'm like the guy you come to when, one, you don't want anything to go anywhere, and two, if you feel like you need something to bounce an idea off of, because I'm more than willing to bounce ideas off of people. And this was the latter, where they're like, how should I confess to so-and-so? And I sat there and I looked at them and I was like, you tell me. Every time we go to hang out with them, I was like, okay, we're not doing this. This is horrid. But then they finally end up getting together. I was like, oh, finally. But with being the case, imagine it's not just that. Imagine it's your homie and two other people you're also friends with, and they all get together. And then you're just left out in the cold. Like third wheeling, you know what happens, right? People love each other, do what you gotta do. Fine. Friendship and the love is typically some of the best love you can get. But now Donnie's got nothing. He's straight alone in his own friend group. Everybody got somebody. Even Lance has 3. One inside him, one who wants to be inside. Wants him inside her. And another one who's just into him. But notably, he's not, like, the only one he's with is the one that's inside him right now. But, like, Lance got somebody. Percy, Ann, and Nasian's all got each other. Tristan, he's locking it down this very chapter. And then, obviously, Gawain has nothing. And notably, I'm still in the camp that Gawain should get with a woman. I've seen the Gaul people. I've seen the Gawain shipping going around once again because of their cute interactions. But Gawain says she likes women. It's a defining part of her character. She could be bi for all I care. Heck, let her multi. Let it be balling in some other way. I just want Gawain to get a woman. But right now, she's got nothing either. So Donnie, Gawain, y'all can dab each other up. Rosebank is available though. So like, one of y'all gotta bring. To be fair, like Rosebank would probably still be salty at Gawain for, dropping her off the dragon. So like, Donnie, bring me. You better hit that line. But of course, he doesn't fully get it because he's still recovering. And then obviously, Edlin and Bors get informed by Howser. And of course, Edlin's like, what? Are you serious? Which he also has nothing. But Edlin is the side characters, so like he's fine. But poor Bors, man. Hey, Bors just goes. And like, I remember being young and delusional too, because Bors is only 18 as well. But like, as I've gotten older, my heart's grown colder, chock full of smolder. Man, I miss. What was it? Yo, hold on. Completely break. I'm gonna go. When was the last time Clemps posted anything, dog? I think it's literally been. I'm not sure. Has he been? Because I don't watch streams as much as I realistically should. But I need to see. Where is Clemps? When was the last time he posted, man? It's been like ages. It's been 2 years? Oh, sweet. I thought it was still like under a year. It's been literally 2 years. Where's Clemps been? Burnout. That was an update from 2 years ago. Let me see post. When was the last post? Hey, folks, check it in. 24 to missing you guys. Okay, so he's on stream as of a year ago. That's one of my favorite bits of his. I've grown a fair bit older. Hair on my shoulder, chock full of smolder. Like, so, all that being said, as I've gotten older and just generally more perceptive, I can tell when I don't have a chance. But clearly, Bors didn't. Bors believe she's not committed yet. And they found out that not only was Percy the guy she told him to worry about. And in Anne's defense, she said, worry about Percy. But, poor Bors, man. Now you gotta figure something out. But we see Gareth and Dareth. I was wondering where these two were. Because remember, the whole plot point was like, they need to come out. They need to leave Camelot. Now, if only we can get an update on Izzy and Diodora. Those two characters, Nakamo, you remember them? Clearly you remember Gareth here. As Gareth says, well, that was sudden. Which I do find funny. I like that they're actually eating, like, real food. Like, you can see that they're eating a variety of plates and stuff like that. Because, like, it's not Camelot. And it's not like the Camelot food is supposed to be bad or anything. It's still, they're still new to the real world. They were born in Onfuin. So, like, I'm very happy that they are able to eat and be proper, essentially. And even Dareth is like, really? Dareth is like a lot of us who's like, 2-for-1 special? I don't mind making a card. But it's great to see these two. I'm glad that they are still hanging out together. Once again, I'm interested to see what the next major quest is going to be. We have such a fat crew to travel with now. I'm so interested. But then we see that Tristan and Isolde have both... well, realistically, the entire Tristan platoon has hilarious reactions. Tristan lets out, like, a sigh, but he's blushing just thinking about it, like, Percy? I know you had all that in you. I know you could go for someone special. Tristan look a little bit off. But meanwhile, Isolde, she's not even blushing. She lets out a sigh too, but she's like, oh, Anne went for it. Because she was there when the initial dual confession initially happened, but she saw Anne storm off, so she was like, oh, it's raps. I guess Anne's just not getting it. But she hears that, oh. So I do hope we get to see Anne and Isolde talk about, Anne thruppling it. And then Kion just goes, which is hilarious, because Kion, you wish that was you! But with Tristan. Because you know you ain't got no chance. Huh? Don't stick your tongue out and hate. Appreciate love, brother. Don't be mad at it. Don't be sad at it. Be glad at it, dog. Put that tongue away, big bro. But we see that the last person, or the penultimate person that Howser runs to, snitch, just spread and never leave nothing out. He gonna tell everybody your business. So he goes, and we see Gila say, so that's what you're all out of breath over? It's about Percival going on that honeymoon, ? With Anglo-Hadanasians, isn't it? His Majesty gave me the news. And wait a minute. Hold on a second. I know we, yes, you, me, all of us, we all agree. We. I'm not speaking French. W-E. Not O-U-I. W-E. I'm not talking just vowels. It's literally a consonant and then a vowel. We all know that Fortnite Jericho, baddest in the game, right? Baddest woman knock was ever produced. We all know that. Before the Gila fans fall off the sky. She's number two. And for some reason, Lady Lake is at 3. I still don't know how. And I've been freakified by. Oh, fun fact! I do stream every Friday at 8. So if you ever want to get freaky with Pencil for some reason, that sounds so bad. No, not that. But if you ever want to hang out live, bada bing, bada boom. That's on Twitch. I'll try to stream more than just Fridays at 8 because I know some people can't always make those. But still, over there, I've been convinced into leaning and rock with the Lady Lake a little bit more, even though she got all that. We have dreams and determination. We can handle all that. But Gila Loki with the lipstick. Without the lipstick, she looks way too young again. But with the lipstick, Gila she kind of, if you know what I'm talking about, like. Something about this panel just had me feeling a certain type of way. Like, I don't know what it is. But regardless, I do like that Gila just finds it funny. As she says, His Majesty gave me the news. She says, His Majesty gave me the news. And she's literally going, which I suppose that is kind of funny. Like, and notably, Gila barely knew them, right? Like, think about it in the context, right? Howser at least had his initial run with them 2 years ago when he was, I forget what the town was called. It wasn't Walnock. That's like right before the Demon Realm arc. I forget the town it was in, but it was like that tower place with the ancient dragon. So like Howser had his run in with them there. He obviously was just with them in Camelot. This, that, and the third. So like he had actual, at least minor interactions with like the crew, specifically Anne, Isolde, not just Isolde, but Anne, Nosians, and Percy, right? But Gila didn't even know them at all. Like I genuinely cannot think of a single interaction Gila's had with any of that trio. The throuple. But even she's just like, oh, I'm cool with it. Let them do what they do. Let them do it. Let them vibe. Let them rock out. I do like that. We get to see two sides of single. Because Gila's single and happy about it. And ultimately happy for other people in love. Meanwhile, Howser's mad about it. But he's mad about it not for the fact that they're in love. He's mad about it because of the timing. And we see that Howser says, whoa, Gila. How can you be so calm about this? And Gila says, why worry? They'll be back in 2 or 3 days. Which is a good point, right? Like, ultimately, they're going on a little vacation. It's highly, like, I suppose the one worry I would have, outside of the worry that Howser has, is that Arthur's going to notice one of the knights is isolated, gank them right now. Like, so there's the immediate super gank, but notably, the 4 evils, the only people who could stand challenge to Percy when they were already chaos amped, are still down for the count as far as we know. Arthur may restore them pretty quickly, but like, it would have to be all 4 of them quickly coming into gang, right? I feel like even in a one-on-one, Percy, especially knowing the matchup now, he could probably beat at least, maybe not Beltreep. Maybe if Beltreep showed up solo, that'd be something. But even then, it is, if anything, this is now the time to go out and enjoy themselves a little bit. But we see that Howser says, that's not the problem here. And Gila, being a demon-human hybrid herself now, thanks to the demon blood just being settled in her veins, it's like, I suppose spirits just see the world differently from us humans. Quite a gutsy move from Anne, too. Which, once again, hilarious, because she didn't even know it. Like, unless I'm mistaken, I swear they did. Well, things may have happened over the 2-year time skip. We just don't know. We don't have much context for what happened in the 2-year time skip. Like, what relationships might have developed. But very specifically, I do like that like, this either implies that, one, Gil just never expect Anne to throuple it, or two, it was Anne who made the decision to actually go on this little sort of honeymoon thing. And I think it's honeymoon in question mark because they aren't actually married, right? Like, Tristan will go on later in the chapter to, like, do a proper proposal to Isolde and be like, marry me, please. And Isolde's gonna be like, absolutely. But technically, Percy, Anne, and Nasians are just throupling it. They aren't, like, marriage throupling it. They're just freestyling. And with that being the case, I like the idea, or this suggests to be that Anne was the one like said, like, let's go together, let's go on vacation, let's enjoy ourselves a little bit. And obviously, this is also probably to get Anne and Nasians more into each other, because like obviously there was a mutual respect between the two. They were friends before, but like they're throupling it. But someone, hold on, I saw someone explain like it's like a little more complicated than just throupling it. Like there are multiple types of like polyamorous relationships. Like technically it could be a type where just Anne and Nasians love Percy alone and then Percy loves them, but like they're like essentially with the triangle idea, right? It could be Percy up here at the top, Anne and Nasians at the bottom. They could both love, the love arrows can go from here and then come back from the top, they go here, so he loves them both, but they're like, it's just friendship arrows here. Well, I mean, who knows? A lot of things can happen in 2 or 3 days. A lot of things can happen. But with that being the case, we see that Howser's like, don't offer them praise for this! And Gila's like, my, so loud. You're talking kind of spooky for someone who doesn't even have one. Gila, I know you were talking like that, because she isn't. But still, I do like that she just doesn't care. And like, not necessarily doesn't care, but she's like happy for them, right? That's better than not caring. And I think that's fine. Howser's stress, though, is somewhat valid, at least based on how he explains it. As we see that Howser takes his complaints right up to the heavens themselves. He says, how much of a total dunderhead can you even be? Don't you see our situation, sire? You just let them go? Which definitely makes, but like, he had to hear it from them then, because there's no way, unless this ain't a flashback, like, he went to Meliodas after all this. But, of course, we see Meliodas said, yes, I did, and of course I understand the situation. And Meliodas says this, while underneath Elizabeth's skirt. And you know what? This is a question I have for y'all. Question from you to me. And I know there are some people who are aromantic, right? So, like, if that's the case, then it's fine. But, if you were, or are, because I know there are many people in my comments who are in a relationship, if you were in a relationship, how do you guys feel about public displays of affection? And, like, I'm not talking, like, giving your partner a kiss or anything like that. That's kind of, like, normal. You get used to that. Especially in, like, certain public scenarios, like typically happens. I'm talking stuff like this. Or, like, slapping whatever assorted body part in there. Getting at all freaky. Are y'all doing that in public? Like, in front of other people? Because, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very physically affectionate. Let's say it that way. But, like, I'm not doing that in public, dog. And, like, Meliodas just does not seem to care. I somewhat get it, because the man is, one, a demon. So, so they just may be culturally different, even though Zeldris, the only other demon we've seen in an actual relationship, doesn't seem to act that way. And two, he has been waiting for it for, like, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5,000 years. So, like, maybe he's just that desperate for it every single second, every single moment, every single day. But, like, Elizabeth doesn't even seem all that cool with it. Like, she's sweating and blushing and saying, come on. Which, like, I don't know. I mean, like, if y'all are cool with it, y'all are cool with it. Personally, I just wouldn't do it. Like, that's for me. That's for me. Like, in general. All that's y'all don't need to see that. I'm not doing that in public. I've never, like, I'm even thinking in my 4 relationships, like, when we're by ourselves, absolutely. But like, no. Like there's not even a public. Like I think the closest was like when we were in the club. But even then, that's like a specific like this is not the club. This is not the club. Meliodas is going absolutely crazy in it. But with it being the case, we see that he slips on out. And Howser says, "You're not at all convincing to me," which is very true. And I do give Howser the credit for like looking away, because still, it's kind of crazy. And we see that Howser says, "Ugh, time is so precious to us too. Even as I speak, Camelot is gobbling up swaths of Britannia, and our holy knights and soldiers are exhausting themselves fighting in the Knights of Chaos." Now, this is a dual. These two panels raise two questions for me. Number one, y'all think it's just Britannia, or is Australia gone? Is South America not even there anymore? Is all of Asia just missed? Because, like, remember, Britannia, as we know it, has been confirmed by Nakaba to just be, like, the UK, the United Kingdom, or England, whatever it's called. Like, it's just that landmass. And, like, I'm not saying that landmass is tiny, but it's tiny in comparison to a lot of other landmass. Like, I think you can fit the entire United Kingdom, like, multiple times in just California, or Texas. You know, one of 50 states in the U.S. Like, it's just not that big. Like, comparing the United Kingdom to, like, Canada or any of, like, just the major large countries. It's, like, not that big. So, I do wonder, is Arthur just taking for Britannia and they think it's just that? Or if they were to leave that little landmass, would they notice that, like, whole chunks of the planet are missing? Because despite Nakaba definitely raising the scale of Fortnite to levels upon levels upon levels beyond, like, we still are talking, like, pretty small scale stuff with just Britannia. I get why they aren't worried about the rest of the world, or at least they can't perceive it easily, because they aren't focused on that. They're focused on their local area. But I do wonder, are, like, just whole swaths of continent missing elsewhere, and Arthur just occasionally coming back to Britannia because it tastes the best? I don't know. But for the other thing, I am genuinely wondering where Arthur's getting all these holy knights from, dog. Like, obviously, Britannia, you could also ask the same thing, but at least, like, they were notorious for having a bunch of holy knights all the way back in original Seven Deadly Sins, right? Like, that was kind of lore. But, like, for Camelot, it was destroyed. Like, how many people do you have, Arthur, that you can just keep sending out these chaos? Like, some of these guys, and I can't even say some of them are copy and paste, or fake, or something like that, because the fake ones can't leave, so, or at least they can't leave Camelot, so I really don't know. Like, where are you getting all these people from, Arthur? Like, are you converting people into Holy Knights the second they get there? Like, dog, this is crazy. But with it being the case, you see that Howser says, "Don't you think, my liege?" Which is funny. I was just to go back to that. I do, and I still do love this. I love the crest and the respective chairs. But don't you think, my liege, that now is the time to storm into Camelot and settle matters with King Arthur once and for all? Now, when Lancelot is temporarily sidelined all the four evils? And we see that Meliodas says, "Okay, you want to tell them then? Tell them to forgo all the rest and keep toiling until the battle is over?" And, like, Mel, well, I get what he means here, specifically for the kids, as he'll go on to explain. That's kind of what you're making your knights do. You're kind of making your knights do that. But we see that Howser goes, "Ellipses, exclamation point?" And Mel explains, "We're putting the fate of the world onto the shoulders of children no older than 18. I think you know how cruel a thing that is. What were you doing at 18, Howser?" "Well, I was mouthing off at everyone. Going to Holy Night went to my head. But yes, I am sorry. Usually it's we adults who should fight for our children." Which is hilarious, because, like, unless you think that Howser adopted Donnie after his sister died, Donnie doesn't, or no. Yeah, Howser doesn't have any kids. he dated Gila for, like, a week, I think, according to Kaya, and that was it. So, like, he's got nothing. But I do believe it's heavily implied, at least, that he adopted Donnie. Or at least, like, took care of him to the point of adoption, essentially. Because we've still never met. We haven't seen Donnie's mother's face, and we haven't met Donnie's father. Donnie is, like, side character supreme, though. And we have so many, like, it really depends on how long you think Four Nights is. But the fact that we haven't seen his mom's face is weird. I still think it is, like, a weird thing. That is a volume extra exclusive interaction by you. That we find out that she's following him everywhere. In, like, spirit afterlife form. Which is weird. Like, just raise questions about, like, the capital of the dead and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. That whole, it's cool, but it's weird. Like, it's weird that we didn't get to see her face. It's weird that we don't know who Donnie's dad is. Like, it's a strange thing with Donnie. But Donnie's not that important, right? It's like, I don't know. But I do believe Howser essentially adopted Donnie and took care of him, because the father was never mentioned. Donnie's never mentioned his father. He's only mentioned his mother. And his mother is the only one following him around, not his dad. So his dad may still be alive and just a deadbeat. But with it being the case, Meliodas does have a good point here, right? Ultimately, well, this is the first half of the good point. The idea that the knights still do need to rest. They've been cooking. And notably, I do think Howser also needs to wait a little bit, because Lance technically isn't at full strength. And not only for the fact that he could still hypothetically grow wings. We don't know. He doesn't have the pointed ears, but neither did his dad or his mom, who both ended up growing wings. It's like Lance could still have a wings amp. But I'm seriously talking about Lance doesn't have a weapon right now. He still has the hilt and, like, a little bit of the blade of White Deer, but he doesn't, like, have an actual weapon at this point. And we still, despite seeing Gareth and Dareth, knowing they're here, and we don't know what happened with Dubs, and like whether or not Lance and Dubs actually met, and like Lance got to put in a commission request. Because remember, that was Lance's whole thing, or at least it was meant to be his whole thing at the end of part 1, before, you know, the Demon World arc happened, and Jade's death happened. Like, that was the whole thing. Lance was supposed to be, or no, Meliodas was supposed to be looking for Dubs for Lance, specifically. But we don't know if Lance even got a commission in. So, like, we do need something like that for Lance. So Lance isn't even in, like, prime fighting form. He's obviously more powerful than any of the 4 evils or most things that they would encounter in there. And he could probably still 1v1 Arthur right now. I'm fully disagreeing with that. But he would be better off with an actual weapon. So they need to wait on that front, too. But on top of that, as we see, Melia says, it's not nothing but rest either. It's fine to fight for vague concepts like the world and mankind, but it's key to have something more solid. Family, friends, lovers, anything close to you that you value. Those are the things that make them grow so much. It gives them more strength and a keener sense of will. Just as it was for myself and the rest of the 7 deadly sins. And that is true, right? That is true. Ultimately, it's the old idea, right? A million people losing their life is a statistic, one person losing their life is a tragedy, right? It's a sick, twisted way that our minds work, right? Like, ultimately, we should feel a million times as sad as we do when one person loses their life. Or we should feel a million times as sad when a million people lose their life versus when one person does. However, it's like the human brain has like a set limit of how much it can register or how much it's willing to register. Like, you right now, can you conceptualize, like, visualize in your head a million people? I can't. So, like, this isn't even like a god. No, I can't. I can maybe, and this would be like me reaching into references. I think like the highest I could maybe go is 1,000. And even then, like, if I were to formulate that mental image in my head, I would like be remembering like a feeling or a sensation of like being in an area with 1,000 people. I can actually like sit here and go through that memory and like count every individual person. I'd like lose count. Like, that's the thing. So you do need those like interpersonal, real heavy, tangible connections that are kind of hard to get and do take time to develop. So ultimately, Percy and Nasian's and Anne, who are all traveling together. And I do think, while Percy's fit does look mad hard, Nasian's fit is fine. Anne's fit is also kind of hard. I highly doubt these are going to be their, like, new fits, because they all too technically need new fits, I do believe. Like, all their clothes were initially battle damaged, so they are going to need new outfits, so I'm excited to see those. But, you know, this is right. You do need that sort of external, that real, yeah, it's true. It's an external motivation on top of an intrinsic, well, the thing is, it's not really intrinsic, because it's still based on another person. But, like, you need a really strong extrinsic motivation on top of the vague, grand external motivations, because those will drive you more. Ultimately, those feats of adrenaline that you hear of, where people are like lifting cars, moving trees off of people, that comes from extreme connection to the thing they're trying to save. If it was just something random, they likely wouldn't be able to perform the same feat of strength, because their mind and their body isn't as attuned to it as it could be. So Meliodas is right. Ultimately, by letting them go out and travel and build these bonds, it sets up tragedy. It's as a motivation to prevent tragedy. But ultimately, I would be shocked. But, like, then again, I feel like that'd be weird. Like, it'd be weird for Naku to go out of its way to set up a throuple and then just off one of them to make it a regular one-on-one. But, like, I feel like one of them can still die. But admittedly, I just don't know. Now, for the longest time, I was so confident it was Nasians. But, like, I don't know. It's definitely 50-50. Maybe they make it, maybe they don't. But I do always have that fear in the back of my head that one of them won't make it. But regardless, I do think it is very, very interesting that Meliodas is bringing up this point here and now. And it does, but it still is ultimately a nice point of comparison. Both the idea that they are still technically kids, and I do agree. I think you really, like, I think it's, like, misinformation, though. Like, the idea that your frontal cortex doesn't, like, fully develop until age 25. Like, I think it's just, like, a general range. I think it's, like, a range between, like, 23 and, like, 30. I think that's the actual range, but, like, the general number is just 25. But even on that level, I agree. Like, the kids are still kids. 18, you're a teenager still. Your number still ends in teen. And I say, even when you're 20, you probably aren't a full adult anymore. Human lifespans are way longer now, where the average life expectancy used to be, like, 30. Now it's way higher than that. So, realistically, you could be like 35 and technically not even, maybe just barely making halfway through your lifespan. But, like, isn't life expectancy, like, now 80? Like, I remember they were debating on whether or not to increase the retirement age because lifespans have gotten so good, which sounds insane to me. But, like, still, that's how, like, crazy lifespans have gotten. So, like, 35? Maybe 40 is like the new midlife, technically. Where before, like 15 was your midlife, especially back in these times. But with it being the case, they are kids. They do need time to bond and grow further develop, or to grow further intertwined bonds in order to further motivate themselves. And then we do know in Seven Deadly Sins specifically, your ties and connections and your emotions and your feelings and your will, they all play into how powerful, how potent, how dangerous your magic is. So by making them stronger, making them happier, making them more solid and firm in themselves, ultimately that will actually just make them better battle assets eventually. So like, it does make sense. But with it being the case, we see that Meliodas says, oh, wait, let me scroll up a little bit. Let's see. Meliodas says, besides, you know it won't go that easy. You just want to rush into Camelot, endangering not only Arthur, but everyone else who deserves our protection? Now, admittedly, Meliodas still trying to save Arthur is, like, kind of funky to me. Like, you can even see my reaction, the live reaction. But I thought about it a little bit, and I think what he means here is that, like, the best case scenario isn't actually to boom Arthur. Because when you think about it, that would just let chaos loose. And we don't know what that would do. Like, obviously, everybody and their mama, unfortunately myself included at this point, is definitely convinced that it's either, like, Kath really running everything, or it's, like, chaos itself. Like, Arthur's essentially just a meat puppet, right? Like, looks like Arthur, sounds like Arthur, isn't actually Arthur. But even with that hypothetically being the case, letting chaos loose still isn't the best idea. So, using all of that power, creative and or otherwise, as, like, an ally, and, like, letting Arthur be Arthur, but, you know, without the mass destruction of Britannia and hatred of all the other races thing, that actually would be the better thing. So I get why Meliodas is like, we shouldn't endanger Arthur, and very specifically everyone else who deserves our protection. That still is the people of Camelot, right? The either people of Camelot who were initially there, or the people who were taken there. Like, remember, Daedrin, Griamore and Veronica's kingdom that was next door, they were taken away. So if they rush in too quickly, they could accidentally trample over that. Like, so they do need more planning. They need a better way to get to Arthur directly. They need to essentially make the battle sort of like a blitzkrieg rather than just, you know, a consistent war effort now on that turf. Just considering they don't know how the destruction of that land would correlate to Britannia and whatever other parts of the planet have been taken away, right? Because obviously Camelot is just way bigger than Britannia. Like, there's not even a doubt about that anymore. There are multiple realms with countless, like, starry skies in them. Like, clearly that's not, like, it's not a one-to-one correlation, right? Not every bit of Camelot is like one square piece of land that gets taken out. So they do need to be extra careful and figure out basically as much as they can about Camelot and its structure and everything about it before they start doing anything too crazy. So I do think Meliodas is making the better play here by taking it slow, and ultimately I think he's pretty much aware that Arthur will never just take Leonis, because it's probably just going to bring Bell there, which he clearly does not want to do. But we see that Howser does immediately step down a little bit. He says, I know, sir. And then we see that Meliodas says, plus, I hear that Thanos is working undercover with Lancelot on assorted things. And are those assorted things, I assume it has something to do with Guinevere, because I believe their meeting is supposed to happen? Is it in this? Because I've seen people talking about, like, technically there's, like, the multiple parts. Like, we're probably going to get another time skip coming up soon. Or not, if not soon, like, we may be getting another time skip again, because I believe it stated that Guinevere meets Lancelot at that point, which we already saw. I think, like, 23 is the number? So, like, there may actually not be a Guinevere meeting point here, and then another point later. So, there are times upcoming, possibly. But, with it being the case, or time skips upcoming, possibly. But we see that, ultimately, Meliodas says, best for us to keep a close eye on Camelot's moves for now. And Howser ultimately says, yes, my lord. But then we get to see Nakaba Suzuki, dog. I'm gonna reach through the screen. I'm gonna brutalize you, dog. I'm gonna reach through the screen. Then I'm gonna reach through the manga. Then use the manga as a portal to reach to you. It's gonna turn into a straight Kingdom Hearts 3 Xehanort type scenario where I'm gonna use you and your creation in order to reach back into you. Why do you keep showing me Hawk? Why do you keep showing me that little pig man and not actually give me the little pig man? I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Why do we keep seeing Hawk but not actually seeing Hawk himself? Where is he? He shouldn't be dead. Like, genuinely, I can't think of a single thing outside, like, Arthur or the Sins themselves that could kill Lance, who could kill Hawk. That thing's indestructible. Genuinely, that was the whole point of the Demon King choosing. Where is he? Is he still just chilling in Purgatory? He was in the human realm at the end of Cursed by Light. He was there. He was in that post-credits. That wasn't even post-credits. He was just there with Wild. Where is he? Because it's been all of part 1 and a fat chunk of part 2, yet we still have not seen Hawk himself. He keeps showing up in these little cameo things, and I feel like it's Nakaba messing with me. And, like, notably, I also do kind of now agree with the whole idea that Nakaba said you don't have to read Seven Deadly Sins, but you do kind of have to read Seven Deadly Sins to get the most out of Four Knights. But with that being the case, it feels like this is Nakaba explicitly messing with the Seven Deadly Sins readers. Because one, I feel like Hawk was like a mixed character. Like I feel like a lot of people like Hawk, a lot of people don't like Hawk. I was in the camp that was like mostly indifferent to sometimes not liking Hawk. But now that I've been without him for so long, it's like Stockholm syndrome. I miss him. I miss him. And we keep getting teased about him. But we don't know where he is. No one ever mentions him. He just keeps popping up. Like there was that one knight who had a Hawk helmet. There was the image of Hawk in the Purgatory portal from, what's his name? From Rothus. There's this here. There's another reference. I think he was in Leonis just generally. Not as the knight, but I think he was like on a sign. Then I think like a Hawk thing showed up in Walnut. Like we keep, like, and it happens just infrequently enough that I forget about it. But it's just frequent enough that the emotions I feel behind not seeing Hawk and just being teased with him keep growing stronger and stronger. It's to the point where I should be more focused on Tristan being way shorter than Isolde, when he himself is like 5'9", meaning Isolde is a solid. That's a foot. Let's not even play his game. Like that's a foot. Like she's a smooth 6'9". But with that being the case, all that being aside, I don't care because Hawk is here. Where is he? Where is Nakaba? Please. He's either going to have the most epic return ever and be like infinitely stronger, like Demon King tier, and or it's going to be like a joke panel. We're just going to actually see the real Hawk walk by, like in the background of the panel. I'm going to miss it. And then y'all are going to be in the comments like, Pencil, there was Hawk. It was right there. You missed it. It's going to be one of those two. And I feel like it's going to be the latter. But of course, we have Tristan and Isolde, you know, standing in the grove, chilling together, as Kion stands to the side. Kion will watch from the chair on some prophecy timing. But with that being the case, we see that Tristan says, hey, since he's locking down, I gotta lock down. Isolde, once this battle is over, would you be kind enough to take my hand in marriage? And we see Isolde go, yes! She's so happy. She's literally crying tears. And I do think that's beautiful, right? Ultimately, they already got the approval from Elizabeth, at least. You know Mel's gonna be like, he's just like his daddy and his uncle and his granddaddy. We all agree. I know I did this earlier, but we also, we as a collective, right? All of us, no French, W-E, not O-U-I, we all know that the Demon King, in order to birth Meliodas and Zeldaris, created a 120-foot tall Dami Mommy who was goth themed. We all know because like they are literally his biological children. So like he didn't just pop them out of his unless you think the Demon King just birthed them. Unless you think Mpreg Demon King is canon, we all know 120-foot goth Dami Mommy Demon King wife is canon. So the granddaddy, the daddy, the uncle, all of them love tall women, and they just like me. And we see, while Isolde is happy to say yes, and Zeldaris is clicking his heels somewhere, we see that Kyan's going, I'm gonna have to watch from the chair! And we see that Tristan's like, here, let me get the chair ready for you. And when the time comes, I want you to celebrate with us, Kyan, as my best friend. And that is very, very sweet, right? I mean, it's a little sad that he has to basically interrupt his proposal to deal with his cousin, not cousin. And I know they're not blood related. Technically, it's not weird. And like, it's common knowledge that they're not blood related, right? Like, Elizabeth is known as the adoptive daughter of Leonis. Like, she's not actually from Leonis. So like, I know they don't actually even share remotely a lick of blood, but they are cousins. They are cousins, like, legally. And or like by paper and stuff like that. So I do feel bad for Tristan a little bit. Clearly he doesn't mind too much. He's still smiling as he closes his eyes to say this. But like, imagine if you had to interrupt your proposal because your best homie was lingering around. Be like, it should have been me, not her. Like, that's crazy. But of course we see that Kyan bursts into tears himself. Even more tears. Like, look at Isolde, right? She's tasteful about it. Maybe there's a little tear burgeoning there, and then it's one singular tear, and she's getting proposed to. She's marrying into the royal bloodline. Top tier stuff here. After Kyan was hating on her for years. Meanwhile, Kyan is busting out multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6, 7, 8. That's a snot. Or so 7, 8, 9 whole separate tiers, and he's shaking. And he's literally like the ultimate friend zone. The ultimate friend zone. You're best? Yes, I'd be delighted to. Well, I have some business to take care of back in the castle, so... Huh? Kyan, since when were you there? Which is crazy. But I suppose Tristan just got used to it, right? Like, he's always gonna be there. It's that meme all over again. I'll be there. Kyan will always be there. But once again, mad focus on this Hawk panel. Nakaba, you're messing with me? You mess up, I'll find you. I'll find you. But with it being the case, I do find it adorable how Tristan does do this, and then he's like, all right, I gotta leave you two to yourselves. As Kion goes, you hear that? I'm his best friend. His best. You will never be piped down. Kion, unfortunately, does not seem, I say unfortunately, for you, it does not seem that Tristan is bi. You will never be, and I think you're shorter than him. You will never be his type. You will never be piped down. You will never have a ring on your finger. You are nothing. You are dirt. You are scum. He won't even hawk on you. Speaking of hawk. But with it being the case, we see that Isolde doesn't even care about that. She's like, how long were you eavesdropping on us? And unfortunately, Isolde, if it's not the chair, he's watching from the window. And if there's not a window, he will use Gnome to make a window. But with it being the case, we see that Tristan went to the castle for a specific reason. He had business to handle there, but he ended up staying there. As he goes, hey, Papa? And we see Meliodas say, what is it, Tristan? Right? Oh, right. Send a few holy knights to Boss Day. I think it's Boss Day, right? It's not Boss. But Boss Day, if you remember, that's where Bond was being held in that massive prison where I forget what they're called. We know one of them's still alive. Golgius is still alive. I forget what they were. I forget what group of holy knights was called. But I believe Golgius is the only survivor. All the other ones were slain by demons. I think. So with Golgius, I forget what that knight group was called. But essentially, that's where Bond was held. So they were sending a few knights to protect Boss Day, which is interesting. I do wonder why that place of all places would be under siege. I mean, it's just another part of Britannia, though. Maybe. But we also see that Meliodas, unfortunately, just because of, like, you know, his ties to Tristan or lack thereof, the second he hears Tristan come asking for him, he's like, oh, I think Elizabeth is in the courtyard. He doesn't even look at Tristan, which I think just does imply that Tristan, like, only used Meliodas to find Elizabeth. And, like, Elizabeth did a lot of Tristan's, like, raising and training, stuff like that. But I think it makes sense, right? Ultimately, Tristan was so scared of his demonic side, especially considering what it did to Lancelot. I don't blame him, especially for resenting his father for essentially making him like this. But, like, Meliodas had no control over that. And it's clear that Meliodas may have tried in the past, but just has given up. But luckily enough for him, we see that his son has not given up anymore. As he says, Papa, I have a favor to ask. And we see Meliodas being like, favor ask him? Of me? He's like, me? And he sees Tristan declare, I want you to train me. And train me for real. Don't go easy on me because I'm your son. Have any of y'all actually tried to fight your father? If you are lucky enough to have a father or a father figure in your life, have you actually tried to fight your dad? I did when I was younger. Lost horribly. Like, I wasn't one-tapped. Because, you know, like, I mean, humans can be one-tapped in our universe. Like, it is still a real thing. But, like, I wasn't one-tapped. But he, like, very clearly played with me and toyed with me. But then again, I was, like, 8 at the time. And I just never fought him again. But even still, I'm a full-grown man. Hold on. Peep the build. Peep the full, look at, hold on. Look at the legs. Look at this. I'm still convinced that man would wash me. All these years later. He's aged naturally, but he hasn't really aged. Like, physically, if you look at a picture of me next to him when I was a baby, and a picture of him now, he has not aged at all. Like, at least, to me, there's slightly, like, he has some gray hairs. That is it. And then, basically, immortal. I'm convinced he'd still, I'm heavier than him, too. I'm good. I got, like, a good 50 pounds of my dad. Maybe more. He's very small. But still, I'm confident that man whooped me. So, I understand the idea of fighting him. Never would though. And also now it's like mostly out of respect. Like even if, like, I don't even know what I feel. Like, I would have to go back in time and fight him when he was still back in his prime. I'd be like, okay, let me instant transmission all the way back to then. So it would be unfair for him now. Oh, congratulations. Man in prime of his physical life beats up on his father. He may not have aged appearance-wise, but, you know, he's older. It'd be weird. I feel bad for beating him up. But even then, I'm not sure if I could. I'm pretty sure he'd still rock me because that man knows how to fight. So maybe after I learn how to fight, maybe I'd be more confident and actually maybe high-diving him. But, like, at least right now, he would just fade me. So if I ever were to fight my father, I would probably say something like this. But even then, he'd probably fade me. But we see that ultimately Tristan is coming not just because he wants to fade. Very specifically, he's like, I don't want to worry Mama and my friends again. I want to be able to fight like Lancelot. Which unfortunately will not happen, Tristan. I mean, like, unless you unlock some real Twilight chaos potential, dog, you are not reaching that level of power. But with it being the case, we see that Tristan says, and I want to protect who I love with my own 2 hands, no matter the enemy. Which I do think is fantastic, right? Now that he's fully locked in on Isolde, he's like, that's my fiancé, bro. Pops! Make me strong enough that I never have to worry again. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. Especially considering the complications he had, losing his memory for all that time while he was in Enfant. I'm glad that he's like, I gotta do it. I gotta be strong enough. No longer does he fear the demonic side. He's like, I gotta master it. That's my power. That's me. That's me. It's like a slightly more autonomous Todoroki arc in the sense that he's like, that's my power. I may have not liked it. I may have not wanted to inherit it like this. It may have a strong taste or control over me. Why did I say taste? A strong control over me. But in this case, I need it in order to do what I want to protect those I love. And I think that's fantastic. And we even see that Meliodas is shocked and smiles and goes, you're on. And he taps his son's fist. I think it's at least implied to be his fist, but notably, we should have known how bad this was going to go, considering base Meliodas seemingly blitzes Tristan here. And we see that Meliodas goes, Thetis! And Tristan sweats a little bit, knowing, wait a second, did I just get blitzed? I mean, I wasn't in fighting state, but like, it can't be that big of a gap, right? And we see that Thetis teleports them to one of the many holes left over by Arthur, you know, yanking out parts of Britannia. I do wonder why they always come out as cubes. Like, that specific thing, like, it's so interesting that he just cubes the area. And we see Thetis say, this area is mostly wetland, with no villages nearby. This won't affect much, even when the land does come back. These 4 walls are coated in a material tougher than steel. I'm assuming she did that herself. And also, it's just so funny hearing, like, tougher than steel. Nakaba, your characters are creating universes. Or like they're creating stars now. Like we're literally, like, we're fighting gods now, bro. Tougher than steel? That's all we got? That's all we got? You couldn't even say diamond? Tungsten? Or, I'm not sure if tungsten. I think tungsten has high, like, heat resistance. I'm not sure how durable it is. But still, like, can you say tougher than steel? Like, a million times tougher than steel. Like, something. We need something, because I feel like that wouldn't be enough to stop these characters if they're wilding out. But we see that Meliodas bangs against the wall and goes, wow, awesome. And Thetis says, wreak all the havoc you want inside. Which I do definitely wonder if Thetis misses that. Like, notably, Thetis is Derriere, right? There was even, like, a whole extra section, or, like, once again, it was a volume extra exclusive thing, where Thetis met up with, I think it was the full quad. I think it was Elizabeth, Zeldris, Meliodas, and Thetis. And when Zeldris found out, he was like, wait a second. So, if you're Derriere, can you still use Combo Star? And she admits that she can, but her physical form can't handle it. It's like her soul data is exactly the same. Her memories are all exactly the same. She's just in a new, weaker physical form. Since she was reborn as a human, her body literally can't handle Combo Star, but her innate magic is still Combo Star. Which goes to show that she just is good. She's good. She still has a lot of high magic potential, though, as she is the main mage. But with it being the case, we see that Thetis is still annoyed and goes, I have my own work too, you know. And we see Tristan go, thank you very much. And Meliodas, once again, I'm assuming still, like, it's gotta be so interesting. Like, that is such an interesting character, just for, like, her long-standing history with Meliodas. Like, Meliodas just says, yeah, thanks, Thetis, which, since he knows it's Derriere, he's like, man, whatever. You aren't the boss of me back, man. You ain't the boss of me right now. I'm still your boss. But we see that Tristan and Meliodas stance up. And notably, Meliodas is not, in fact, wielding Lostbane. He left Lostbane at home today, because that is a completely different hilt than Lostbane. I'd go grab my Lostbane, but it's literally up on the wall right now, so we'll leave it there. But he's not using Lostbane. He's not even going to use his sword in this chapter. As he goes, well. I suppose you should start by gauging your current strength. Come at me then. Give me all you got. And we see Tristan says, are you sure you want that? I'll leave nothing off the table then. And he goes, and transforms into Demon Mark. Now, this does kind of sadden me. I do wish that, like, his Nephilim state was the strongest, but I think that is due to the fact that he still has, like, separated them. I do believe, like, true Nephilim Tristan, or wherever you're gonna end up calling that form, where he will, like, have the Demon Mark, but maybe it's glowing, right? Like he'll have, like, the Demon Mark outlines, but then he'll have, like, maybe black Triskelion, and then glowing white eyes, and then, like, a glowing Demon Mark, and the mark coming down his face. That will probably end up being his strongest form, but it's interesting that currently Demon Mark still truly is his apex. That hybrid form, that Nephilim form we saw him use against the Testament Beast all that time ago in part 1, still isn't actually strongest. His strongest is Demon Mark. And we see Meliodas be like, is that all you got, gang? Like you 18. Back when I was 18, I sold the commandments, dog. What are you doing? But we see Meliodas stand up, and Tristan immediately goes in and, he yams him. But of course, it's a whack. Meliodas' head moves. There's a big smoke cloud, look real good. Doesn't get enough, as Meliodas casually catches the fist, even crack, like you can see his fingers are holding Tristan, and, like, digging into his skin a little bit, because he's still that much stronger than Tristan. Remember, this is Meliodas in base. In base. In base. And we see he says, and you don't want me to hold back, right? And like any good father, he very quickly humbles his son as he hits yo and just kablams him. Literally sends him flying with one singular fist impact. Bleeds Tristan immediately, and Meliodas instantly lunges in and hits a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-piece combo on his own son, slamming him into the ground. And then he stops and goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you alright? As Tristan, still in demon mark, goes, oh, it is clearly not. And the most hilarious thing about this is, unless some of these impacts are on Tristan's chest, Tristan was getting punched in the face so hard that his shirt ripped open. And you can literally see his abs. So, yeah, ultimately, Tristan still nowhere near the level of the Sins, especially not even his base father, which I do believe all the other Sins could probably diff. And notably, this isn't even Meliodas using a sword, it's his regular fist, and we do know that weapon use in 7deadlysins drastically amps your actual AP. So, yeah, Tristan, you got a long way to go, son. Long way to go. But overall, yeah, a very W chapter, a very W chapter. I love it, I love it, I love it. I love seeing Tristan get to seal the deal with Isolde, essentially. That's really, really good. Seeing him start to train Meliodas is fantastic. I'm glad we're getting to see the father-son development. Honestly, I do wish we get to see, like, Elizabeth here, too. I get she may be doing something. She may be running the kingdom while Meliodas and Tristan are training. But it would be nice to see them, like, work together to try and train Tristan. I know a lot of people want Mael to be a big part of Tristan's training and development. Hey, I also do want to visit the Celestial Realm. But on top of that, Mael does have experience of being both of light and darkness, thanks to his time as Four Commandment Mael and stuff lower than that. So it would be interesting to see him train him, but very specifically, we have the Bloody Ellie. We have the leader of the Ten Commandments. It would be nice to see them, like, reflect on their history with Tristan and explain their past to him, and ultimately get him up to speed that way and show him how he can use his powers together, like the combo attacks that they used to do. Like, maybe they can try and get Tristan to do them on his own, considering he has both of them inside him. Like, I do hope we get to see the full family training, but hey, I'll take any Meliodas and Tristan training. That's fantastic. And obviously, even the earlier parts of the chapter, Howser's concern, yet also him spreading Percy's business out everywhere, hilarious. Gil's reaction to it, hilarious. Boris's reaction to it, like, it's just, this is a fantastic chapter. Like I said at the start, this is truly Nakaba at his best with his character work and character writing. Even if I do think some of the Mel stuff is a little extreme, a little bit weird, I wouldn't do it. But even still, it still is more characterization for Meliodas and stuff like that. It's just a good chapter. Just a good, nice and hard chapter. So overall, if you didn't only see this video, please do me a favor and leave not yo daddy. Not yo daddy. Whether it's not your or not yo, not your daddy, in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you can have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. You things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the 33-minute live reaction to this very chapter, and variations of all my videos, your name at the end of literally every single video, and if you become a $5 patron or member or more, you get access to your own free short video, this, that, and the third, along with many other little benefits here and there. But regardless, if you want to drop 5 beans for a short video or 25 beans for a long video on the one time, you could hit up my Ko-Fi description down below. I do have a second channel that got the reaction where I drop videos every 1 p.m. at Saturday EST. It's literally reaction videos. They're like all an hour long at bare minimum. You know me, I love the app. And I think that's all the plugs I need to do. Oh, also I stream on Twitch. That guy with the controller, the link to that is also in the description down below. We're currently playing Silksong at the time of recording. Nowhere near done with it. So like we're gonna be on Silksong for a while, but if you want to come out and directly app with your boy, there's that too. But regardless, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. And let me thank you to our sketch team members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Kiyomi, Buddha Uda, Enzo, Swift Strike, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, ASO2404, Striker Man, Grim, Straw, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Magic, CCC, Official Popeyes, Ramondo Furen, Create Panem, Seraphiel, Dino, Axis XE, Plant Crone, Pickle, Heath Nelson, Hector Gonzalez, P Sub, Black Sade, Zapro, and Tim Thomas. Then, like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: A+A, Kevin Encarnacion, Sean, and Midnight Lord 21. Then, like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: King RTX and Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06. Then, like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AC Void. And like to give another thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Walkie Minos and Walkie Munos.